Okay. Hello, Richard. I think we are live. I see the people in there. There's Killer Cow. So I don't know who
Nice,
Killer
nick-
Cow is.
nice username.
I think we should know this person because they said, God dang it, my screen name. So I feel like we should know them, but we can't
Yeah.
recognize because of the screen name. And then Krishna gets the honorary first official guest chatter on the stream. So woo, we'll like send your trophy in the mail. Richard is still waiting for his trophy, so don't wait up at night for it or anything like that. Oh look, Maggie's here. Hello, Maggie. And then I really want to know like who Killer Cow is. But yeah, to answer your question, the main chat will be on the Pieces YouTube channel. So definitely come to the Pieces YouTube channel, and there's no ads here. So you don't need to be on my Twitch, but if you are, that's fine too. I see Roxy, I think you're on my Twitch. So feel free to jump over to Pieces YouTube channel, or you can just stay there. That's fine too. But most people are here on YouTube. Yes. Celebrate. Maybe someday you'll make it on the stream too, Krishna.
One day.
One day. No, seriously, I think he's on the list for coming up guests. One day we'll be like, how do high schoolers use Pieces? Oh, look, it's Elder.
Hey, Elder, what's up?
We got some support in the chat, Richard.
Woo, thank you. Thank you for being here.
I'm very excited. He's on lurk mode. That's okay. I think Elder is like always on lurk mode.
Yeah.
So I totally understandable. Hopefully Upa comes here too, because we definitely have some trollable content coming up in this stream.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely a little bit trollable, but I think it'll be good. Michael's here. Hey Michael,
Hey,
thanks so much for coming. Yeah, if we don't, I mean, I think we know a lot of people in the chat, but I know Jim likes to do this on these Pieces live streams. If you want to say where you are from or where you are chatting from, we would love to know. I'm in Halifax, Canada right now. So where are you at right now, Richard?
Well, I am from the humble state of New Jersey, otherwise known as Jersey Shore. But I am known as Richard, but you can call me Rich if you'd like. And yeah, I've never been to Canada, but I've always wanted to go.
It's not that far away. Like New Jersey, Canada. It's like what is that? There's like a saying that's like it's a leapfrog jump away or something. I forgot what the saying was. I always mess up sayings and I like reverse the word. A hop, skip, and a jump away. I feel like it's not that, but it might be. Somebody can confirm. We got Maggie from Central Florida person. I'm technically from Florida. I'm just in Halifax right now. Oh, look, Michael's in New York.
Oh yeah, I met him in New York Holding Coffee.
Okay, and I guess I just made up that saying, by the way. I don't know if that's actually a saying. So anyway, and also if you hear some like lawnmower sounds, that's because there is lawnmower sounds in the background. So I don't think you can hear them, but if you can, I'm sorry. There's this thing that happens right outside my window at like the most inconvenient time possible, where they decide to like mow the lawn, and then they take a really long time, even though there's like one small piece of grass. Like, I don't know what they're doing out there. I'm like seriously suspicious that they intentionally mow the lawn really slow because they get paid like per hour or something like that, because there's no way it takes that long. But anyway, that's just my theory. This is Mika. Mika, you're Killer Cow? What? Why are you Killer Cow, Mika? I feel like that's like, okay. Oh, your son? Okay. I could see that, but that's pretty funny. That's like the most not suitable name for you. I think you're literally like a vegetarian, right? So that's funny. Hi. Okay, we got someone from Uganda, Africa. We've got Devon here, and then Roxy. Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna get started. I won't talk about lawnmowers anymore. You're a vegetarian, yeah. So, a lot of you already know Richard, but there's probably a few of you that don't know Richard. Me and Richard are good Twitter buddies, and we met in real life at that conference. So that was really cool. I don't know exactly how we actually met each other the first point of contact. I don't know what that was. Maybe it was like the tech commute or something. I'm not positive.
I think it was the Journeys conference that Jason was hosting for Leah. I think you were in the chat, and then I think he mentioned Ellie was in like the background helping. I think I heard about you that first time, and you were in the chat a couple times.
Okay, you have a much better memory than I do. I do remember that though. So I thought we knew each other. I think we knew each other kind of before that, but not well. Like maybe we just saw each other around the.
Oh no, I definitely saw your post about like your portfolio. I'm like, or your portfolio website. I'm like, oh, she's working on her portfolio website. Like that's so. What's the English translation? Like I don't know. Like oh, that's so cool.
Same. I just words just like escape my brain, and then I just can't. I think once you get like too many languages in there, you just can't think properly. So
same.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. So it's terrible, but it's okay. And here we have Grappling Dev. He changed his picture, but he's like a guy with a beard. Do you know him?
I don't.
He's a DevRel for roadmap.sh.
Oh.
Yeah. He did the PFP change, confused everyone, but it's okay. Now we'll remember you as like the Viking jujitsu person. So anyway. Yeah, right. Like, you should know who he is. I think you've seen him around actually. So
probably
it is Dan. His name is Dan. Oh no, he's like losing his mind. So anyway, that's how me and Richard met probably. And if you don't know me, I'm Ellie. I'm a developer advocate at Pieces. Jim usually does this stream, but I wanted to do it this time because I wanted to get Richard on here. Because Richard is, I anointed him as the top technical docs writer in the world yesterday. So the trophy is coming in the mail for that. And I decided like he needed to be on this stream to show how he does it so we can all learn from him. So he's going to show us how he writes technical documentation, but also uses Pieces to help him because he's been doing a lot of cool things with Pieces since that conference. I'm pretty sure you met like the whole team and then you got introduced to Pieces and then you started using it. How did that happen? What like made you actually download it?
Good question. I think I saw you talk about Pieces like for a bit before that conference. I know like you were advocating for it. I don't know if you were the official developer advocate at the time, but I knew like you were talking about it. I was like, oh yeah, Pieces is nice. But I was like, yeah, it's Pieces. I didn't like for me AI isn't
really You're like, oh, another AI tool.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, it's another ChatGPT. It's like another AI tool. Like I'm good with my traditional tools. And then I think after meeting you, Wishabe, Mason, I'm like, wow, these people are really cool and chill. I need to try their product out. So I gave it a shot, and I'm like, okay, I'm never going back now.
Yeah, and then you started like contributing to the Pieces docs and doing all kind of open source stuff. I was like, what? He's like, you met the Pieces team and then automatically just started doing all of this stuff. And then Mason was talking about you and everybody was talking about you. And I was like, wow, Richard is getting into Pieces here.
Those DMs, right?
Right, exactly. So I was like, that's awesome. But I love that. And we do have a question over here. We have, what is a technical writer? I think we should answer this question because that is basically what this whole stream is about. So could you answer that question for us, Richard?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it depends on the company because I do know that there are some companies that like to say technical writer, but like what their job responsibilities are usually just to create content for the company. Like for example, blogs, video content, like stuff that will usually go out in public and people can read or listen to or watch, like podcasts and stuff like that. Or there's also technical writers that usually focus on the documentation side where they write the actual content that developers and other people who might be interested in using the product and services through the documentation, and they can learn to use it. So we usually do like code snippets, sometimes we update screenshots, but most of the time it's updating content.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, and there's also, like freelance technical writers. You can write blogs for other sites, or you can like you could even, I think, you could say you're a technical writer if you're just writing some blogs for your own blog site and they're technical in nature. So, but that's a really good definition, Richard. And we've got Jason here trolling. He's, taking Upa's number one troller position at the moment. I think Upa's not even here. So anyway, he said, don't go to pieces, Richard. So I don't even... No, I think he's trying to make a joke, but and also, yeah, I guess I'm not wearing Piece's shirt right now, but we are wearing black.
I was gonna wear it, but then I was looking through my drawer. I'm like, oh my god, this shirt is so cute. I need to wear it today, so I'll wear it. So.
It is cute. I really like that shirt. There actually is Piece's swag in this stream somewhere, so if you can guess where it is, I will send you something, maybe. Or maybe not.
Oh, maybe.
If you can guess where the swag is in this stream image of me and Richard's stream, there is a piece of Piece's swag somewhere hiding. Okay. Jason already guessed it. Yeah, it's one of these hats. One of them is a Okta hat, I think, the Okta developer hat from that conference, and it looks exactly like the Pieces hat, but it doesn't say Pieces. So
I'm actually wearing it right now. I don't know if you can see it, but like.
Oh, you are wearing a Pieces hat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So actually,
because the text is kind of small from here, but like
two hats.
Yeah, I tried to align it to the camera. It's hard.
We have Mika. By the way, if you're new, this is Mika, not Killer Cow. Mika says she loves your shirt. You have the best shirts. I agree. Richard does have some really good shirts. And then I guess Dan and Jason are having competition here with the hat find where's Waldo hat challenge thing. So anyway, I wanted to ask Richard here. Even though we all know Richard, I think a lot of people in the chat already know Richard, but I want to know, like, how did you actually get into software development? Because I know that's not where you started out, right? What did you actually study, and like, how did you even get into this?
Yeah, so ironically, I studied English when I graduated, and honestly, I did not expect to use my degree like this, but hey, coincidence happened. And I was like, yeah, I don't really know what I want to do for the rest of my life. College, high school doesn't really do a good job of like, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? Like, what do you want to do for your career? So I was like, okay, I'm just going to job hop from one job to another. And I kind of just went to whatever job accepted me. So at one time I was a barista, and then another time I was a bank teller. I was a retail worker at one point. So, I kind of did a lot of...
This was all after the English degree thing? Okay. So you found out, like, oh, you can't really find like, there's no jobs for English teachers or English degree holders.
So funny story, I actually did do like 2 semesters of teaching, but then I was like, going through the curriculum, I'm like, yeah, not for me, because public speaking terrifies me. Like, okay, I know I'm doing a live stream right now, but it's completely different when you're doing in front of like a bunch of people and you have to teach them something. I'm like, this is terrifying, and I do not know how teachers do it. Like, no.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. And also, we have a new person here, HRA4242. I know this person contributes a lot to the Pieces open source projects. I don't know. So I don't know if you know him or not, Richard, or have you seen him around in the Discord?
Oh, absolutely. We've talked a couple of times. I'm like, yeah, I see him all the time.
That's so cool. But yeah, no, definitely teaching is very weird at first, like, especially if you've never done it before. I know we have a teacher in here, Roxy. So maybe Roxy understands, but yeah, I used to teach English in Taiwan. So when I first started, I don't know, I wasn't really scared of doing it, but then I like got up there, and teaching 6-year-olds is fine because they all are like obsessed with you and love you. And they're like, I just love you so much. And they'll literally like want to hug you and stuff. But, teaching like 14-year-olds is not fine. You have to like try really hard to win them over. And it's scary, especially if you teach like for a whole day. It's really tiring. You're like walking around, pacing back and forth, and then you teach the same material over and over and over. It's very boring after a period of time. Yeah, so I understand the teaching pain. So you realized that was not for you, and then you went and did like a million other jobs.
Yeah, basically that's what ended up happening. And then COVID ended up coming around. I was like, this isn't what I want to do for the rest of my life. I kind of did some serious self-reflection. I'm like, I have the time now. I have the energy to actually look into myself and think, is this what I want to do? And
Yeah.
I'm like, probably not. So I'm like, oh, well, I've always been interested in computers. Let's give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen, right? So I ended up giving it a
Oh,
shot. And after a lot of struggling, I ended up finding 100 devs because at first I took the traditional route of getting a computer science degree, which was a mistake because
oh,
that was,
really? I didn't
oh,
know that. I didn't know you went back to school to try to get your CS degree. What
yeah.
happened?
So it was an online school. I'm like, oh yeah, I could do an
Whoa.
online school and do a part-time job. Easy. I'll just pay it off with my job. And then I was looking at their
Right?
tuition, and it's $28,000 without any other extra. That's just curriculum. And I'm like, no, thank you.
Does New York, New Jersey, they don't have like financial aid programs and stuff where you get free money?
I, I think what ended up happening because like it was online, so I think they just kind of just like, oh yeah, you could just apply whenever. I'm like, okay, let me just apply, and then
Okay.
they just accepted me. There was no like, oh, what's your SATs, what's your essay? I just like applied and they accepted me. I'm like, this is not what I
Oh,
remember college
sounds
being.
scammy, maybe. Maybe it was a scam school, Richard. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it really depends, like I don't know, maybe Uba can comment about this, but in Florida, like pretty much if you have good grades and you can prove like, hey, I work like as a waitress or whatever, like you can pretty much go to school for free or really,
Mm,
really low cost, just because there's so many good financial aid programs. So I don't really know, but I don't know how it works for your second degree. I feel like maybe they would be like, why are you getting another degree? We already helped you get this first one, So I'm not really sure. But that was my experience, at least going to university. Like there's
yeah.
just so much good financial aid stuff.
Mm.
So yeah, but
I
that's
think
wild.
you have to be really for New Jersey, anyways. I think you have to be like stand out above the rest. Like you not only do you have to
Ah,
have like good grades, you have to also be like extracurricular activities. You have to be a leader in something. You have to write an essay. It's like yada yada yada. I'm like, no, thank you. Also, hi, like yeah,
yeah,
no.
Upa is here. And then also we've had our first Facebook chatter, Christopher, but I can't see your message because I think Facebook is weird and something is wrong with like StreamYard plus Facebook. So if you want to chat, come to the Pieces YouTube channel. It's just Pieces for Developers. And then we'll be able to see your message, Christopher, because I can't, it's like literally blank.
Mhm.
But Amitesh is here. Hey, welcome, Amitesh. And yeah, we have a question. So can you tell me what to study first when starting doing coding? I don't know if we're the ideal source for that, but you
Mhm.
know who's here who is a really good source for that? There's the guy, where did he leave already? Grappling Dev with the Viking. He is a DevRel for roadmap.sh, and they have a lot of really good roadmaps. So you should go there and see if any of those topics interest you. And then there's like a whole roadmap that tells you what to do and what to learn. So that would be a good option. Um, yeah, I think it really depends on a lot of things, but we are
Mhm.
going to talk about technical writing and writing documentation today. So that's what we're going to focus on. We've got a new chatter too, KVK. Hi.
Hello, KBK.
So, and then Krishna is a certified cool kid. Amazing. So anyway, you started learning how to code, and the
Mhm.
CS degree thing did not work out, and then you found 100 devs, which saved your life. Is that what you're saying?
Basically, I think 100 devs is a great place to start for a lot of people. It gave me that focus I really needed to like, okay, see, here are the steps I need to take to start out my coding career. And also it set up like those base and core values of what a developer needs to not only be self-dependent but also grow as a developer.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Yeah, and also I think this person also sent another question. I'm not sure about this. If you're in university already, you should definitely, do your thing. If you're a student and it's your first time going to university, but you could also make your own projects and write technical articles. That's what you'll learn about today from Richard. So we'll see. And then we have 100 devs people in the chat. Amazing. And then we have someone here, great fan of pieces. I usually ask pieces to create markdown of my workflow that I need capture for later reference. What do you think? Is there any other better methods? I mean, that sounds pretty cool. That sounds like a good use of pieces. I haven't tried to do that before, so.
I definitely should be doing that more. I usually just use it as a rubber duck though, because like I constantly sometimes I forget that I have a pieces extension in my browser. I'm like, oh, I can save this code snippet. I'm just gonna copy it and paste it. I'm too used to just doing Control-C and Control-V. But
yeah, it's hard to like adjust to the new way of doing things. If you've been doing something for such a long time, just like copy and pasting into ChatGPT or whatever it is you're doing, is definitely different. But I do like that idea. I'm gonna actually try that after this stream and see, or maybe when you share your screen, we can try to do that.
Oh yeah, we could try it together. Yeah.
But yeah, okay. You got into software development with 100 devs, and then how did you get into technical writing? Were you just like, I used to be an English major. Maybe I should write some words again. Was that the thought process, or was there something else that happened there?
Honestly, when I graduated, I was like, oh, I'm never using this major again, probably. But then what ended up happening was Shashi Lil, UX senior engineer at Microsoft, was like, hey, I have this friend. He wants to build an application. He kind of doesn't want to do what he does manually, which was like a football survivor application, which,
shout out to Gridiron.
Gridiron Survivor. Like the rules are complex, and honestly, I don't get it. But anyway, so he was like, "You want to join?" I'm like, "Absolutely, 100%." So I joined, and then I think what ended up happening was like he made us do some low-level documentation and then research on tools and libraries and languages and present it to the group. And then I ended up doing a one-on-one with Shashi, and like we were just talking conversationally. And then he's like, Richard, you just said something really interesting. I'm like, what? What did I just say? He's like, you just said you really love organizing and you really love the process of researching and writing documentation. Not a lot of people can say that. I think you should pivot to documentation. I'm like, all right, let's give it a shot. So I pivoted. I started learning about documentation, and then I reached out to Vincent, who at the time was the documentation engineer at AppWrite. And then I chatted with them, and then, I kind of just kept going from there.
That's very cool. So Shashi basically planted the seed in your brain that sprouted this.
The Shashi seed is just like, all right, time to get
Shashi seeds. I think that's what he's doing, right? With all the Gridiron people, he's like planting a bunch of seeds over there, trying to make people bloom into developers. But that's really cool. That's an interesting story. It's funny because it kind of comes full circle. Like you ended up using your English degree in the end. So I like that. And I know, like we said earlier in the stream, like recently you've been contributing a lot to the pieces docs and open source stuff. So we really appreciate that. And I think it's really, really cool. So without further ado, I think we should get into it. We're going to be showing you some very cool stuff. I'm going to let Richard explain because it's Richard's ideas here. And he's going to be sharing his screen. And feel free to give us some input if you want us to do something, or you want us to ask pieces a question, or if you want us to change something, let us know. This is super interactive. We will listen to your suggestions and do it, as long as it's, with a reasonable suggestion. So, okay, go ahead, Richard. What are we going to be doing today?
So first, let me share my screen. Hold on. How do I do this? I'm going to just share my.
It's at the bottom middle. It says present. Yes. Okay. And then I can, when you're ready, I'm going to add it to the stage.
All right. I think I'm ready. I think.
Okay. Hey, that's Oh, really? Are you not ready? I can remove it. Like, let's remove the
I'm
sensitive
ready.
data. It's not like Twitter, you know, you don't want to
Okay, I'm ready now.
expose yourself.
Expose myself. It's like, all right, here's my Twitter.
It's like an Elmo follower or something,
Yeah.
you know? But anyway, oh yeah, Krishna asked a good question. When are you launching the Ellie book for awards? Did you give Richard? You know what I should do? I should do this actually. It's a really good idea. Can somebody like make a note of this and remind me later because I'm gonna forget? But after I finish my portfolio project thing, which I keep putting off and never finishing, I should add a tab that says like, yeah, I should name it like maybe Ellie book is too close to MacBook. We have to think about the name there, but add a little tab and then I'll put like my awards in there that I like bestow upon people. So like for example, Richard has the first one. He's the best technical docs writer, and then also you got the award for like the first and last person in the Amanda stream with Amanda. So you got like that award, and then Krishna got the award today for like first chatter in the pieces with Richard stream. So there'd be like 3 awards in there already.
I think that'd be cute.
But this should be a terrible idea that adds no value at all to somebody's portfolio. Who wants me to do that? Let me know. If it's a bad idea, I won't do it, but it's a pretty good idea. Okay, Krishna's he's a really good memory too. Krishna will definitely, I trust that he's gonna remind me about it. And yeah, and you can, you know, maybe you can like add that award to your LinkedIn. Like, oh, I got this award. Here's a link for proof. Maybe you can add like you know, they have like Credly hollow pin stuff. I think you have to pay for that. I don't want to pay for it, but you know, we'll see.
We'll see.
I think Upa doesn't like it. Upa, well, you get an award here. Look, you're gonna get an award for the best troller, the #1 troller on my streams. I think you're like a little bit above Jason just because you show up more. So you'd get the #1 spot. Anyway, that's that. We'll think about it. So what are we doing, Richard?
So I am going to be looking at one of my old projects. There's going to be a lot of cringe here, but I'm going to take a look at one of my older projects and I'm going to write documentation for it because I did not write documentation for it. I did do a README, but you know, it's kind of close to documentation, but not really. But
so for like personal projects, do you think they need documentation? Like what kind of documentation would a personal project, for example, like if somebody was learning software development and they are adding some projects to their portfolio and, you know, maybe they made a project that it's an app for when they go out of town and they hire a cat sitter and they need to like track how many times the cat was fed and it has like a camera or something. It like looks at the cat. Like what would you make docs for that kind of thing?
I think it depends on what you want the project to be used for, right? So like, for example, I like to make projects for just my personal use and just like, oh, I'm just learning this for my own sake. You probably don't need the documentation for that. Maybe a README, but probably no documentation.
Maybe what if you're sharing it like with people that you want them to hire you?
I would say it wouldn't hurt to have documentation. It's not like a mandatory thing like, oh, you don't have documentation, we're not going to hire you. But it's more like a way to show that you have diverse skill sets as a developer and you can wear multiple hats. And that's valuable to both the recruiter and the team. It's like, oh, you're familiar with not only writing documentation, but you're also familiar with what good documentation looks like, you know?
Yeah, I guess if they were thinking about like hiring you for other positions, then it would also showcase those skills. So I definitely think it wouldn't hurt. And also we got Dominic here on Twitter. I think he's our only Twitter chatter here, but he said, morning, 2 of my fave people. Thanks,
Morning,
Dominic. Dominic, if you want to chat with the whole chat, come to YouTube or I think Roxy's on Twitch. And Mika's on Twitch. So some people, they're fighting Twitch versus YouTube. You guys can choose whichever one you want. But anyway, so yeah. So anyway, it's not going to hurt you if you make some documentation even for your personal projects, right?
Yeah.
All I have are readmes. So I'm excited. Maybe I will even make some docs for my portfolio project. I'll have like a doc that explains these awards are not, credible and they're not authorized by any larger organization.
Gross.
Personal streamer awards only. Anyway, go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, so I did download Storybook in advance. Normally, when you do documentation, you would probably have a different way to do it. I'm just using Storybook for this because it's easy to set up and it just sets up the MDX environment perfectly with the UI and everything. If you want to use a different tool library, that's perfectly fine.
What is Storybook? I heard about it, but I don't know what it is.
So Storybook basically it's really cool because you're able to take the components that you built, like for example, your button component, your text input component, and you're able to actually write automated documentation for that. Like so Storybook automatically creates documents for that, like the parameters it takes in, like what you're able to toggle, like the styling. I'll show that a little later. But and then you're also able to integrate just regular documentation like your MDXs or your MD files in it as well. So it also combines the component documentation along with your just regular documentation, and it also lets you integrate both seamlessly in a separate environment.
That's cool. I have to try it then. It sounds very interesting. And we do have a question, Richard, about documentation. So we've got, is this Henry, by the way? This is Henry, right? Or I don't know. I'll do HRA. HRA said, the problem is what needs to be documented to count as a good documentation. So what needs to be documented to count as good documentation? And how do you make sure your documentation is up to date all the time? So let's do the first one first. So what needs to be documented and what does not need to be documented? Because if you document everything, it's not really, it's going to overwhelm the reader.
Right. I think that's tricky because, well, if we're looking at it from a company standpoint, right, obviously you're going to have to look at it from what does the company want and what does the company not want to address, have all those minute red tape. But if we're talking about just your personal projects as a whole, I would say look at other documentation to get a good idea of what would be good to include and what would not be included. So for example, a good example of this is just how would you install your application? If I was someone who wanted to, let's say, download your application and use it on my local computer, how would I do it, right? Another example of that would be what does your component look like and what does it do, right? So that would be another good example of something to document. Another possible idea is if you're building an API with endpoints, you could talk about what does the endpoint do, and then how an example of using that endpoint. I would say an example of what not to document is definitely proprietary information or classified information. So environment variables, definitely not good. And information that would probably be detrimental to your application security, or stuff that you feel the user probably doesn't need to know about this, and that's only something I need to know. So it's a tough balance that I think through experience and time you'll be able to learn oh, this is probably something the user should know versus the user probably doesn't need to know about this.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, definitely don't document your environmental variables. Not a good idea. Good tips, Richard. I did see an article recently. I think her name is Carmen. It was posted on dev.to, and she made an article about how to remove your environmental variables permanently if you accidentally commit them or something. And then anyway, if you did that, if you added them to your docs, go check out her article. I don't know where it is, so I'm not going to link it. But if any of you know what I'm talking about, feel free to link it. And then we got Elder over here. Yeah, you should probably do that. So, and then so part 2 of the question: how do you make sure your documentation is up to date all the time? do you have like an AI Richard that, you know, automatically updates these things, or what? How do you do it?
Oh, that's a really tough question because unfortunately right now it's not. I don't think it's possible to fully automate your documentation at the moment. I mean, there's definitely ways you can automate parts of it. I don't know if there's ways to automate the entire process. I'm sure
Yeah.
there's ways to do it. I don't know how efficient or like because like you want to focus a lot of your energy on your main application rather because that's the main core of it all, right? Because you don't want to be like, okay, let me put some of that memory and storage and like speed into the documentation, but then also sacrifice some of it from the main application. So it's like it's tough because yeah, I mean, like for example, when I worked at AppWrite, a lot of it was manual, and I had to manually change a lot of things. And like, yeah, I really, really wish this was automated, but it unfortunately isn't. And with documentation, especially since it's MDX, a lot of it is not automated, and it kind of sucks. I guess like my tip, uh, find ways to like if there's ways to automate certain aspects of your documentation, like for example, for the version of your application, that's the first thing that comes up to my mind. The code snippets examples, that's definitely something that could potentially be automated to some degree. And then probably like installation commands or CLI commands that could probably be updated as well to some degree. And otherwise, I feel like content, I don't know how much of it you could automate, honestly.
Yeah, I think we need the manual Richard reviews to update it, right?
Yeah.
So I guess you just have to, you know, if you have a new release or, you know, your product changes at all, you just need to be aware of that and change the documentation accordingly, right?
Yeah.
And then yeah, we have UPA here saying that the majority of companies keep track or update their documentation with version, since it's kind of easier to keep track of any recent changes. So we have that. And then but yeah, anyway, let's get back to your example here. What are you doing here? And also, can you click the little hide button on the thing popping up there? Yeah.
So yeah, we're just going to take a look at my application, and we're just going to see I'm just going to go through what I would start at, like how I would start my actual documentation process, and just go from there. That's kind of how we're going to be doing this, and maybe roast my designs as well because there's a lot to roast here.
Yeah, feel free to roast. We maybe will change it, but maybe not. So maybe you can like make a pull request on Richard's project if you feel really uncomfortable about it.
Just be like, hey, I really don't like this. All right, time for the big reveal.
Hi, Sophia.
Yeah, so this
Auto
is
aligners.
Yeah. This title was created from ChatGPT because I do not know how to do.
It's not a bad one, but it sounds like you're literally the only thing that this company or website, whatever it does, is align, you know, your wheels. So, yeah, or like your tires or whatever.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's a very neat auto repair company.
Yeah, so right off the bat, I would probably say the only thing I would document here is like what does the company do, right? Because it's like you said, the name is definitely not like screaming like, oh, this is a car maintenance company. So that's...
We already have roasts. Upa saying you went H1 all the way with your huge titles.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. No comment. Yeah, so all right, so this is not pretty, but it's fine. I ended up manually creating all of this because I was like, I don't really like the HTML calendar input, so I'm going to create my own. So that's a really good example of something I would document, right? Like what is the component? What does it do? what are the elements of the component, like stuff like that, so that the developer would, if a developer wanted to contribute to this, or if like I was a part of a team, they would be able to easily go in and be like, okay, so these are the parts of the component, and let me like go in and like work it out myself.
Oh, you did get a compliment though, Richard. Elder said this is prettier than 99% of backend devs do.
Oh, thank you.
So,
I'm
not all
designer.
roasts. Not all roasts.
Yay! I didn't all roasted.
Look, we got some more H1s down there with the email phone drop-off card.
Oh my god, the cringe is so real. Oh, and look, the date isn't even automated. I didn't even automate the date.
Okay, that's funny.
Okay, all right.
I
think we should just start with the documentation then. Right,
yeah, so let's do it. So we have no documentation right now, just a README.
No.
Is that what's happening?
That is exactly how it is. So I'm going to run Storybook. Once it loads up, hopefully it will load up. While we're waiting for that, I'm going to pull up Pieces Explorer or Pieces Copilot, I believe. If it loads. My computer is loading. Okay. So I do want to say, I do have a smaller computer, and I don't think this is fixable, honestly. But I feel like the VS extension doesn't really work that well with smaller devices, because my screen's really small. So like sometimes I struggle with having to like, oh, I want to do, because like as a developer, you usually have at least 2 tabs open. Like I usually have like this, like I usually do that. So like this just takes up a lot of space already. Oh.
Right. So you feel like it doesn't really adapt to your screen size.
Yeah.
There.
I mean,
yeah, I can see that.
Like I said, I don't know if there's a fixable solution to that, honestly, because yeah.
I'll write that down. We're gonna look into that.
But like I said, you know, it is what it is. So I am just gonna start right off. So, like I mentioned, wow, Storybook is like crying out for help. All right, I can't show that. It's fine. So I'm just going to start my process of documenting all this jazz. So I am going to delete a lot of this filler stuff.
What's all this stuff?
Oh, so when you install Storybook, what ends up happening is they give you like example files, example folders to like show like what it would look like in Storybook. So when you render it and you run it on your local machine, you're able to see like, oh, this is what Storybook looks like on your local machine. So I'm just deleting some of the boilerplate like stuff that I don't need.
Oh. Yeah, I wonder, maybe I'll try to use Storybook on my portfolio page, especially after I add the award section. So it'll, maybe I need some more explanation, because it's going to be confusing, especially for people they're visiting and they're like, what is this? Like, why would someone add this to their portfolio? I'll be like, it was a highly requested feature. So.
It was highly requested, yeah.
Yes. And it looks like all of the chat has migrated to Twitch. I think it's on my Twitch. I don't know if it's on the Pieces Twitch or not, but yeah, feel free to chat wherever you want. Since this is a Pieces stream, I was trying to get people on the Pieces YouTube, but if you guys feel more at home in my Twitch channel, then that's fine too. I guess Upa went over there. Everybody was waiting for Upa. That's so funny.
Okay.
Upa is like what he's gonna get an award for, like the team leader or something. Like the group wants him to come to join the group over there. I don't know. Yeah, Krishna said Twitch feels more comfortable. Okay, well that's good. This is your home.
Right, exactly. All right. So
Elder's in a meeting. It's very sad. Let's pray for Elder to get out of this meeting.
Hope your meeting is fast.
Yeah. All right, let's see what happens.
All right. So first off, I am going to pull up Pieces, and I'm going to open up a new chat. And
you're doing some Hello World earlier today.
Okay.
Was it a couple days ago?
Yeah, I don't know. Like sometimes, like when I pull up Pieces, it's like, oh yeah, here are some like default conversations. I'm like, I didn't make these. Like, are these example? I'm assuming these are like showing like what the actual thing is Copilot's capable of.
I don't know. Are some like ghost using Ghost is like making new chats. I know that, if you open up Pieces desktop, the Copilot, you can like click one of the suggested prompts. So maybe like you accidentally clicked one of those or something.
Oh my god, my screen is so small you can barely see this.
Yeah, you know what you can do also is I'm pretty sure you can do Control minus, or you can go to the settings and make it.
Control minus is not working.
Okay.
And Control plus is not working.
Okay. Well, I don't know it's in the settings, or you could just leave it this size because then the chat can like read anyways if it's bigger. Yeah. But if you want to make it smaller for your personal use, you just go into the settings. I thought it was Control minus or something.
No, there it is. Oh, there we go. Oh, that is interesting. So when you click on the box like here, nothing happens. But when you click on the actual prompt box here to the input, then it zooms in and out.
Oh, did you find a bug? Is Amitesh still here? Amitesh?
I don't know if that's a
Amitesh, Richard found a weird thing with Pieces. I don't know if he's still here. Maybe he can write it down. I'll write it down.
That's interesting. All right, so I am going to start off with write out an outline for a documentation introduction for my project auto aligners where the user is able to make car reservations when they need maintenance. All right, I'm excited to see what happens here as it loads.
Yeah, let's see what happens. We can also try, I don't know, we'll see if it works while you're streaming, but after this, we could try to ask the same question and open up your website, your car reservation, or not the car repair website, auto aligners, and then turn on the live context and try to ask it to do the same thing, but like without saying what it is. I want to see what it does, if it works or not.
Okay, so interesting.
Car repair. It is car repair, right?
Yeah, it's a car repair. That is the idea of it, anyways. Okay, it's not bad.
Roxy said, auto aligners sounds like it would be fixing cars' teeth. Disney cars' teeth. It does sound like that, like Invisalign. Yeah, I could see that. Maybe you could ask Pieces to like generate a new name for your website or something.
Actually, can we do that? Can you generate a new application name for a car maintenance website that is not auto aligners?
All right, let's see. Motto, maintain, car care, connect, auto, upkeep, maintain, moto. Moto sounds like motorcycles.
Yeah.
Fixed fleet. Fixed fleet kind of sounds cool, but it's not car. I like car clinic. What about car clinic? Oh, Gear Guardians, Wrench Works.
Why are these all alliterations? Like motto, maintain, car care.
Maybe it's because yours was auto aligners, so it was like maybe he likes that style or something. But yeah, apparently the bug is already known with the zooming. So yeah, thanks for checking on that, by the way.
Yeah, of course. Right,
and then we've got Upa says, welcome to the junkyard. So I have no idea what he means by that. Like, is that a new name suggesting? Because I think that's not good. Like, what if your name is welcome to the junkyard? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to bring my car to that car shop.
Yeah, I would. I definitely wouldn't. I kind of like car clinic, although it sounds really weird at the same time. Like, it doesn't sound totally right. But my second choice out of these I like Gear Guardians, but it doesn't sound like car stuff. Gear Guardians. Yeah. What about just car guardians?
Car guardians?
Car saints, car angels.
Guardians of the cars.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe you'll get like sued or something for that.
Well,
Guardians. That was a good one.
Oh no.
Anyway, we'll see. We'll put that on the back burner. Let's leave the name for now. Anyway, what's the next step, Richard?
Oh, I thought you wanted to do the live context.
Oh yeah, let's try that. See, I already forgot. So let's try. So click new chat and then live context on. And do you have the website up somewhere? Is it like you have one
Visual
screen?
Code Editor, and it's currently on. It's hosting on my local host.
Oh, it's right there. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see if it works. So maybe just say like the same thing, but like you could say like make whatever it is for the website that I have up, auto aligners, and let's see if it works. And like oh yeah, you have to enable that.
Enable. Okay.
And then say okay. So hopefully it knows. Because I think it's gonna think that
yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna look at the one you have up, it's probably gonna be like, oh, a new thing. You know what I mean? You might have to be like you might not even have to mention like auto liners. You could just say like for the website that I have up.
For the website I have up.
About cars, maybe.
Oh,
well, no, maybe it's like I don't know what other websites you have up, so we'll see.
Oh, I don't have visibility into the specific website you have open or any details to it.
Let me see. Can you open up your Chrome? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can try to say like the website that I have up about cars.
All right, let's try that. Make a website for I have up about cars.
We'll see if it works. Oh, see, there, it got it. It looked for the car thing.
I feel if this looks.
It might have got it from the last one too. So I don't know if it like got it from your previous message or your other chat. It might have gotten it from your because it the live context. It can see like your other chat too that you just had the outer liner documentation. So I don't know which one it got it from, but it got it from somewhere. It got it from somewhere. So I'm not sure, but anyway, we got it. We might if we wanted a real test, we'd have to delete all of those chats and try it again, but we can just move on to the next thing. So after we have this like outline, what do we do now? What do you normally do?
Well, usually where's the copy? I will copy this into here.
Oh wait. He said, by the way, Richard, why do you use GPT-4 Turbo for docs? I would give Claude a try. Good question. Claude is way better.
Honestly, I'm not really that well versed in the AI LM models, and I was just looking online because like the previous version I was using just the regular GPT-4 version of the LM, and then there was a problem with generating long snippets for like the prompt answers, and like with documentation that's a bit of a problem because a lot of it is very long and a lot of content. So I'm like, okay, I need an LM model that actually generates a really long, like it can handle that kind of long prompt. And I was like, oh, Turbo can do it, so I switched over to Turbo. But I could definitely try Claude. I'm just not well versed in LMs.
Yeah, I mean, this is working, but you can, like, if you open it up, Claude, I think Claude 3.5, Sonnet 3.5, I think it's the, go down, the Anthropic one.
Anthropic. Oh, okay.
The last one, the 3.5. That one, I think will do a pretty good job, but anyway. If you're okay with the first outline, though, we can stick with that for now and then use Claude for the rest of the stuff that we do.
I mean, it's an outline. Like, I'm going to change a lot of this. It's like, it's the idea of doing this, like generating the outline with ChatGPT or with pieces, is to just get it, like, just get started and be like, instead of being overwhelmed with like a blank piece paper or blank piece of file, just like, okay, where do I start? Now you have somewhere to start. So.
Yeah, definitely. That is very helpful. And that's how I also feel about, you've used Blog Recorder, right? Yeah, that's how I feel about that as well. Like, it's hard to get started on an article But if you kind of just like talk to it or just put an idea out there, then at least you have an outline or something. So I use pieces for that all the time too, like trying to get an outline for something, whether it's an article or I guess like here would be a great use case, or read me.
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just going to get started. So first things first, I'm going to get rid of target audience. That's obviously something that's for me. That's not something the audience needs to know about. So removing that. Probably don't need introduction. It's pretty self-explanatory that this is going to be the introduction, so we don't need to call it that. All right, website overview. I don't think this is necessary because I feel like when you're looking at a website, right, that's the whole purpose of the navigation bar. And like, you don't really need to tell the audience like, hey, these are the pages that are in your website and what they do. Like,
yeah.
If your users are unable to like discover or find that out by themselves through like the page itself, that's probably something you need to consider with the actual page. So
good job on making your users understand what your auto aligners does.
Right. User account management. I would probably delete how to create an account. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. Almost everyone knows how to create an account these days. Login demo information, probably not necessary. Account settings. I feel like it could be at the end, but I don't think this is good for the introduction. Like, I think it's too much information, and like it's not relevant to the introduction of the documentation. So we can take that out. Reservation system, how to make a reservation. I think this can stay.
Oh, Richard, I think someone said it's a little blurry. So maybe I don't know what we can do about that. I think you might have to maybe you could zoom in, like make it bigger, because it's already on, I think, what is it? 180. I think we're already like on a pretty high resolution, so I don't really know why it would it's okay now.
It's okay. Good now? Okay.
You might I don't know. I don't know how to fix that. It's bit rate. I don't know. But I'm just on StreamYard. So what can I do? But it also sometimes, if you're on Twitch, like it'll automatically lower the resolution. So if you might have to like change the resolution to higher and it will be better. So anyway, continue on, Richard. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I would probably remove this. It's pretty self-explanatory. You're seeing time slots not necessary, modifying, canceling reservation. I feel like most people know how to do this. But I would say maybe this could be just a video. I'll just say like a video. Obviously, I'm not going to do that here, but like this could be like a video idea.
You got to get your DevRels to work on that, Richard, for your car site.
So I'm going to delete that for now, but yeah, got to get my DevRels in there. All right, how to select car make, information on different car models available. I would definitely keep this second part though, only because it feels like this is pertinent information. Like, okay, what car makes or car models am I able to actually, submit into the actual system for maintenance, and that way they're able to determine like, okay, so what are you missing? What do you not have? Like, yada yada. I don't know if it's necessarily good for the introduction, but it's definitely something I would put in the future of the documentation. So we're going to keep that for now. Finance options, overviewing of financing services. Definitely going to keep this, because if you have some kind of payment involved with your website, or if it's going in or if it's going out, that's definitely something you want to be transparent and clear with your users, because money is involved and you want to be as clear and transparent as possible with that. And
good tips.
Definitely keep these three for that.
I'll add it to my portfolio site too for the awards page. I'll be like, these receivers of award people will not receive any kind of compensation or whatever. Then we got Upa. He said he writes his articles in Obsidian. Yeah, I think for articles, Obsidian is good. But once you want to add it to like your website, I guess you gotta get into VS Code. Or what do you use, Upa? You use Vim, NeoVim or something?
I've heard of him. I've never tried it out, but I'm just so partial to VS Code now. Like, I don't really want to use any other code editor for it at the moment.
Yeah, I tried NeoVim and it confused me. So
Oh no.
I'm still working on it. I think I need to uninstall it. And then Upa sent me a video, like a walkthrough on how to
Oh.
get it set up. I think
Mhm.
I messed something up. Like I was trying to I don't know what I did, to be honest, and now it's not working. So I messed up like the configuration of NeoVim, like the
Oh
settings in there or
no.
something. So I'm just gonna start over and like follow the video and not do anything unnecessary and see how it goes. And hopefully I can get pieces installed as like a plugin in NeoVim, and then maybe I will be okay after that. But we will
I
see.
mean, sometimes you just gotta start over, right? This is how
Yeah,
it works.
sometimes you gotta uninstall and remove all your mistakes.
Yeah.
So anyway, he says, I copy and paste in VS Code afterwards. Yeah, so why do you edit directly in VS Code and not in like a different app and then move it?
Maybe that's just how he does things. He just wants to be.
Maybe Richard is like, pro level. He doesn't need to like go back and forth.
Pro.
Anyway.
All right, so I'll definitely keep these two, especially if this is catered towards developers. If it's not catered towards developers, I would probably get rid of it. But like most documentation, if not all documentation, is usually for developers. I don't really see a realm where like a technical recruiter would look at a documentation for TypeScript and be like, okay, I'm going to read through this entire documentation. That maybe that's a controversial opinion. I'm not sure. So I will keep that for now. And then customer support, I would say keep it. I would definitely say I just don't know if documentation is the right place to put this. I feel like this which should be in your website. And if it's already in your website, I don't
Probably.
know why they would go to your documentation for this.
Maybe if you're trying to be transparent on like where your customer support people are and how much you pay them or something like that, you want to be like transparent about something like that, or no?
I don't know, because I feel like there's only so much information with the customer support you want to give with because like documentation is more like, okay, I want to go in more deeper level, or I want to just know how to do this, not necessarily, oh, I want to contact customer support, or I want to know like, hey, something's wrong with your billing, how do I contact you? That you usually don't go to documentation for that. You usually go for
Makes
the website,
sense.
right?
You got to get a customer support page on your website then, and set up all the customer support people. Like I know one really good IT guy. Upa can work as your IT guy and answer those questions. But yeah, he says he uses Obsidian because he keeps it as his notes, and he uses Pieces Live context to create questions. So that's pretty cool. And then he said he used to do it in VS Code, but then switched to Obsidian.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like Obsidian better, but if I'm making a blog post, I will get it like mostly done somewhere else, like Obsidian, and then I'll start like editing it in dev.to because I don't know why, like the dev.to interface makes me think more clearly. Everything is nice and pretty, and like I can preview it and it looks like a normal article.
Right.
I feel like the Obsidian interface doesn't make me feel like it's a completed article. It feels like Google Docs. It's the same as like writing an article in Google Docs. And I look at it, I'm like, this is not perfect. So yeah. But anyway, so yeah, maybe just get rid of the customer support if you don't normally see that in the docs, and we can pretend like we added it to your website already.
Yeah, let's just pretend it's already there. This one, I definitely would include it, but not in the introduction. That's definitely not something that the user needs to see on the very first time they're looking at your documentation. Probably its own separate section. Obviously, this is like case-by-case scenario. If you're just doing your own project, you probably don't need to do this. But if you're a company or like a self-employed, probably a good idea to have like something there to protect yourself for when you get it employed by clients or something like that.
Oh, so I should probably add one of those too then to mine if I do the award. So I can say, like, you know, if I say I'm going to send you an award, I don't really mean it. So, like, you don't actually get an award.
That's probably a good idea.
Like, don't expect an award in the mail.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll do that. And then Jason is back. Hello, Jason. Welcome
Hi,
back to the
Jason.
stream. By the way, the legal and privacy thing. So would you link that here and then add it in another, you know, file or something like that? How would you like connect these things?
I feel like legal and privacy would probably go in the footer. Like it's definitely not something, in the footer of like your documentation. Like I can see a use case for that. Like if in case like you're someone who's hiring me, like it would be like, hey, if I'm hiring you, I want to know like, you know, all the terms and conditions. Oh, here you go, here in the documentation. I mean, this probably could be in the contract itself as well. And then like, I mean, like the whole legal and privacy thing is I'm not very well versed in it, so I can't say much in terms of like how much of it you should include versus like how much you should not include. I would say like it wouldn't hurt to include it. Obviously, like make sure to not include sensitive information. Like be careful. This is not legal advice whatsoever.
Yeah, so we're just gonna get rid of it on here and add it to the footer then. Yeah. And then we also have some comments here. So HRA 4242 said, by the way, our friends at Hashnode build their own documentation software with the awesome Hashnode editor. You should check that out. Have you tried that before?
I have not, but I've heard of good things of it. I definitely will try it out when I get the chance. It seems like a lot of fun.
That sounds cool. Because I like when the editor and the UI is nice. It just makes me think more clearly. Like if I were to write an article like this, I would just be like, what am I looking at?
Exactly.
It just looks too weird. And then also Upa said there's a plugin where you can have a good UI in Obsidian. You should send that to me or send it in the chat because now I'm really curious because maybe I won't do the whole back and forth thing with dev.to. And then we have Michael. I write my articles using Hashnode, then I copy the markdown to GitHub to display it with Gatsby and Netlify for my personal blog. And he uses canonical links. Is that how you say that?
Canonical? I think so.
I don't know. That's always how I say it.
It sounds right.
It sounds right. Okay. But anyway, that's cool. Yeah. For some reason, Hashnode, I like the dev.to interface a lot better than Hashnode. I don't know. Anyway, that's my personal opinion. All right. So we did that. And then we're going to the next one, number 10. Is number 10 next?
I definitely would remove this. I don't know why you would have a glossary in terms.
What is a car? What is a tire?
The only way I see you having something like this is if you're building an API with endpoints. Then I would say like, oh yeah, this is what this is and what this is what that is. But like,
right. I know Pieces has a glossary of terms, so yes. I'm pretty sure I saw it. So, and then Amitesh is back. Amitesh, you missed everything. I'm just kidding. We're making the outline for the docs, and we put the terms of service somewhere else in the footer.
Somewhere in the void.
Roxy knows what is a car exactly. Well, if you want to be really transparent, you could add all of like those technical mechanic car words that like normal people don't know about. You know, like what is a I don't know, confibulator. That doesn't exist, by the way, but I don't think. And then if you're like, you make a quote, say like, oh, your confibulator is broken. At least people would know what it is.
I mean, I feel like that's covered here. Overview of financing services, like you can include and the car services you provide. Like, so for example, that would include tire change, oil change,
fixing configurators,
replacing batteries, something like that.
Look, see, it's a real configurator. See, look, I'm not making things up.
No, you're not.
All right, so
the site map. That I would say I would change this to roadmap. I definitely feel like if you have a product, because I know like a lot of websites and products and services have like a certain kind of roadmap, and they like to be transparent with their community. That can definitely be valuable. Whether or not you put that on your front page or not, I think it depends. For me, I think I'm going to put it in the front page because I think for my product, it makes sense because I'm building in public. I'm an engineer, developer slash technical writer. I want people to see how this application has evolved from its first iteration to its current iteration. So I think and like its future iterations and what's next in store. So roadmap makes sense to me.
Okay.
I'm going to keep that in there. And then contact information. Physical location, probably not a good idea. Phone number.
Richard's garage.
Yeah.
123 Oak Street.
Probably not phone number. Email address, I would say email address, just not to overwhelm the user and be like, okay, which email address do I send it to?
You're not going to add Upa, the IT guy's email address on there?
Fine.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and then we can remove this last part from pieces. All right, so we have a good, decent outline, but now we're going to edit it a little bit. So purpose of the website, I would change this to what does the website do? Okay.
Krishna wants you to fix Upa's name and make it correct.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I spell that incorrectly?
Yeah, it's Utba.
Like this?
Yeah.
Okay,
but you know, Jason has a unique spelling. He likes to spell it differently. If Jason's still here, you can let us know what that is.
I'm interested to hear his unique spelling.
Upa is very dissatisfied.
I'm sorry, Upa.
4 letters and still in trouble. Yeah. It's what happens. People spell my name wrong too, and I think it's pretty easy.
Really?
You know, like you go to like a coffee shop and they write it on your name, on your thing. They like sometimes write they write Allie and they write Ellie, like, and they don't put the E at the end. And then I've had like Elliot before too, which is weird. And Emily, I've had Emily too. So
how do you get Emily from Ellie?
I don't know. Some people do say that. I think somebody in a stream, I don't remember what that happens when that happened. Somebody was calling me Emily sometime, but I don't remember what it was.
Interesting.
Who called me Emily? I need revenge. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know who it was. See, like, even if you get my name wrong, I'll forget. Roxy. Yeah, it's actually funny because my aunt's dogs, 2 dogs, were both named Roxy. So yeah, so I was like, I think that's why I kept calling you Roxana in the beginning, because I kept thinking like of a Dalmatian when I said Roxy at first. So anyway. All right, so we have our what does this website do? And so will you actually fill out this information now, or?
Yeah, sure. I'll do a little bit. So what does the website do? The website, no, I don't like that wording.
Maybe we could ask Pieces to just do it for you and we could get it done quick.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Create an introduction paragraph for the website that I have up about cars.
Let's see if it works.
Based on the context provided, it appears you're working on such as an introduction. Welcome to Autoline News, your one step. Oh, I do want to add real quick. I don't really like how chat or Pieces, when it's generating the answer for the prompt, it keeps generating it like continuously from like, and then like if every time you want to go back to what you want to go, it just keeps going.
Like the scrolling thing?
Yeah, like I know there's a stop button here, but like
I think that's new. Like, you mean when it's generating, like it starts scrolling down?
And like it automatically keeps scrolling your mouse down.
I think we just added that. I saw people talking about it recently. So because I think that like ChatGPT does that too, and the other ones. So I don't know. I don't know if they're going to revert that or not. But you know what? You know how Pieces is like super kind of customizable and there's a lot of options. They should have an option for that. Like, do I want the auto scroll or do I not want the auto scroll? That could be a cool option.
Yeah, I think
Let's
so
see.
too. Oh, all right. So
I will see if that's possible. I'll try to remember. If you talk to Mason, you can also mention it, and then he'll be like, "Oh, a lot of people are recommending this." Yeah. So we'll see. All right. So we have this. It's sort of like an introduction, as if it was on a website. Would you make an introduction like this for the docs too, or?
I would say I would put definitely some kind of introduction, like what does it do? I don't know if I would do it this way though, because already I see a semicolon. I'm like, ooh, that's fancy.
You don't like semicolons?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with them, but like when you're writing documentation, what you want to focus on is concise, clear, and to the point.
Maybe you could copy that, concise, clear, and to the point, and just copy that and put it back into the chat and say, make it more, and then
generated prompt that you gave me for the introduction paragraph. More concise, clear, and
I feel like you put a lot of more effort into your prompts. Like all I do when I get something that I don't like, I'll just be like, I just will say nothing. I'll just say more clear, concise. To the point.
I don't have a record of generating an introduction for you.
Okay. Well, it did generate it under that. It said, I think you're talking about this though.
No, this introduction is there it is.
Yeah. Oh, see, look, it thinks that you only do wheel alignment. I think it does. It's the name. It sounds like it's just doing wheel alignment.
That's fine.
Is it great?
Yeah, but like right off the bat, you can see it's much easier to read. Like it's short. It's shorter. It's like it gets to this more to the point. It's like okay, I like this better. I might like change a couple of these adverbs and like verbs. Like for example, longevity. I would say like entire quality.
Oh, good. By the way, we have Danny Thompson here. Hello, Danny. Thanks for joining the stream. We're just learning how to write technical documentation from the best technical docs writer in the world. So that's Richard. Anyway, we wrote our outline, so now we're kind of like going through and filling out the outline.
Mm-hmm. I would probably combine these two. I don't see a reason that this needs to be. Honestly, I don't know if I would add this I would add this here. I might just add this like as its own first title, like the main title, like welcome to auto liners, and do like a MDX syntax H1, and then something like that.
So, but when you're writing the docs by yourself, like, would you have like, AI generate an intro, or would you just go ahead and like whip it out yourself?
Yeah, so normally what I would do is I would write it out first, and then I would say like something like I would do something like this, like, is this clear, to the point, concise, and does this flow well? And that's usually what I do when it comes to rubber ducking. And then I'm like, okay, so here, let's see what it generates, because I'm actually kind of curious. Yeah, so if I see this, of
course, it likes its own paragraph.
Yeah.
I generated an amazing paragraph.
Pat on the back, right?
Yeah, exactly. We have Francesco here too. Hey, Francesco. How's it going? We're learning how to create top-tier documentation for Richard's new startup company, Auto Aligners. So he's running it out of his garage for tire alignment wheel.
I actually have a garage. We don't really.
And then we have We have yeah, we are still going. We are still going. We're probably going for we're gonna try to get a semi done intro page. We don't have to get to the terms and the whatever the other thing, the contractual things. We don't need to get to that, but we're gonna try to semi finish this and see. Will we actually be able to see this on the website, or where is this gonna go?
Oh yeah, so if I show you real fast, here, it's right there. It automatically generates it here. And like you can see all our bullet points right here.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So all you have to do is save it.
So this is in Storybook, and then how do you actually add it to your website? Will it be on the website, or will this be like in GitHub or something?
No, so what ends up happening is with Storybook, which is the cool part, is that when you upload this to, or when you're publicly hosting it, this is a separate URL for your website. So like if you want to show them the docs, you would say, hey, this is the endpoint URL for Storybook docs. Or if you just want to go to the main website application, you just go to that URL.
So your docs would just be basically hosted on Storybook.
Well, it's hosted through the main platform you're hosting it on, like Netlify, Versal, Fly.io, whatever.
But it like lives on Storybook?
Kinda, yeah. I think. I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, we have 199 followers on my Twitch account. I don't know who will be the 200th, because I don't think I'm using the Pieces StreamYard, so I don't know if I'll get a notification for that. But who knows? Maybe the person will get an award. Get on my award page.
Another award.
If I see them. Yeah, who knows? Maybe they'll get an award. Yeah. I guess I should open it up and see who that is. If somebody does follow me, I will get notified. I'll go to my creator dashboard. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
With that. No, don't show again. Okay. 23 minutes ago, someone followed me apparently. So is that 200? Oh no, I'm still 199. So we'll see who's number 200. Then you'll get a little plaque, maybe. An imaginary plaque. Yeah. All right. So we have some of it completed, and then what's next?
All right. So information on different car models available. This is a perfect opportunity to use AI. So let me find it if I can. My data, because I don't know where it is. It's been such a long time since I've used this, and like
your stuff is hiding.
Yeah, literally. I'm just like, where is everything? Okay, cool.
There's your data. Oh, look, cars.
Oh, I pasted it, but I don't know if Pieces like that. It was a lot of information. Oh, I think like, no, Pieces crashed.
Oh no. Maybe just exit out of there, or just yeah.
Oh my god, it crashed.
Oh no.
Okay, hold on.
We're overwhelming Pieces with cars.
I don't know if that's a device problem or if that's a Pieces thing that needs to be looked at.
I don't know. Hopefully Amatesh is here and he can tell you. So Amatesh, what happened? Upa, the IT guy, what happened?
Oh yeah, it really does not like it. Like it will not work.
Maybe, what are you trying to do?
Like, because I wanted it to generate the MDX table automatically, because that's something that AI is really good at. It's just like building up that, because like it takes a long time to generate an MDX table.
Try to just highlight it, go back, highlight it, and then just right click and do the pieces from here. Where is Pieces, and then you can
about selection.
Yeah, try to do it like that.
Generate an MDX table using the following data. Will it crash? Oh yeah, like look how small Pieces Copilot is. Okay, so that
we're really zoomed in here.
It did not crash, but it's loading.
Oh, it's working. Yeah, I think it's easier for this kind of thing just to ask it directly. Oh no. Oh no.
Something went wrong with processing. Please wait a few seconds to try again or contact the support.
How long is this? Okay. How long is this data file? Just like out of curiosity, like how many lines is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. It might be going over the limit. I'll have to ask somebody and
Okay.
see if there's like a limit on how many lines of code you can ask it about. We'll see.
But
I'm gonna write it
to
down.
save on time, we're gonna skip this. But like the idea is basically you would use AI or an LM model to auto-generate that MDX table because like okay, let me show you an example of what that looks like. Title or name, I don't know, and then email, just as an example, and then age, I don't know, age, and then this, and
So
then
hypothetically, it would be like that.
yeah, it would be something like this. I am
Oh, okay.
28, and then you would have to do that for every single one. Like you see how it can be a little
Right.
tedious.
I mean, pieces should be able to do that. I think maybe we have some kind of limit with the amount of lines of code that you can ask it about. I don't really know though. So I'll ask and I'll get back to you about that. And then someone asked, what AI are you using? We're using Pieces for developers. So Pieces. So if you're on you're on Twitch. We're also live on YouTube. So we're on the Pieces YouTube account right now.
Oh, that did not.
And then
okay, so I did something wrong. Hold on. How do I write a table in MDX syntax?
Oh, it sent it over, I guess. But it didn't respond.
Yeah, but it didn't respond. It's interesting. I don't know if I crashed the
Pieces app. I don't know. I think you broke Pieces, Richard. No,
I broke it.
I don't know what happened, to be honest.
Oh no.
Maybe just like can you delete this conversation?
Let me try
just delete the conversation.
How do I
And then Upa wants you to check your CPU usage in Task Manager.
Sure, I can do that. CPU.
Oh, it is working now. It just did not like that.
It is
one
current
chat.
Does that answer your question?
Is that a lot, Upa? Is that what?
I don't know.
What does that mean? 100%? What? It says 46%, 35, 27, 31. I don't see 100%. Maybe I missed it when it. Oh, 72. Hey, you have your Google Chrome is using a lot of a lot of energy, I think. Maybe someone says you might have a virus. I think it's because we're streaming too. Because on Google Chrome we have StreamYard open, and StreamYard like uses a lot of energy. So maybe it might be the StreamYard. Streaming takes a lot. So that's my guess. But what are your thoughts on that? People who someone uses Google Chrome uses 500%. Upa says you should just quit Google Chrome and never use it again. So
this should be correct. I don't know why it's not generating, because Pieces even says like see. I don't know why.
I think it might be because we're streaming at the same time. Why like you could try it after we stop streaming, because it might just be like overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that's going on right now with like Google Chrome and the stream. So try it after this and let me know if it works. If it doesn't work, then we need to look into that. So but yeah, what's next though?
All right, so overview of financing services and the car services you provide. All right, so just for time's sake, we're going to do we're gonna hope that this works. Write a paragraph about the overview of financing services and car services that my current website that is up about cars provides. That's a very long paragraph. All right, hold on.
Maybe a concise paragraph. Concise and like
to the point paragraph.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll ask it if I'm writing like an article or something and I want to fix something. Like I'll be like, make sure like at most you group like 2 sentences or 3 sentences together and make a new paragraph once you hit like 3 sentences. Upa wants to know, he's doing his IT guy work for the day here. He says, how much memory RAM do you have?
8 gigabytes of RAM, I believe. I can double check.
Wow. Yeah, that's probably. I think that might be why.
Probably.
That's really.
Yep, 8 gigabytes of RAM. So I have like
Upa is
7.3.
very disturbed. I have 16, and that doesn't feel like enough. It's not enough. Yeah,
I need
Upa
to
says
get a new one.
more.
Yeah, no, I'm planning on buying a new one. I don't know why I decided to buy one with 8 gigabytes of RAM, but like it's
right. When I got mine, I got it recently. I didn't know. I thought like 16 would be enough, but it's not. I mean, it's enough, but it would be better if I had more.
Mm-hmm. I'm planning on getting one with 32 next time.
Yeah, Krishna said, yeah, same 32. He said his previous PC had 8 gigabytes too, and Chrome was killing him in his PC. So yeah, he said throw Chrome in the trash can. So maybe you learned something new today, Richard. If you have 8 gigabytes, you need to throw Chrome into the trash can.
But I like Chrome. I can customize it.
I think there's some other ones that I like Chrome too. I use Chrome as well. I have all my bookmarks there. I don't want to redo all of my stuff. So I totally understand.
I have way too many bookmarks. I'm like, I don't want to
say. Well, you know what I realized recently is like you don't have to add a name to your bookmark. It could just be an icon. I only realized that recently when I saw someone sharing their screen. I was like, what? You could just have a little icon at the top.
Anyway. That is what I need to do that.
Yeah, you don't need to have a name. You could just leave it blank and it'll be a little icon.
What?
Yeah. And then 16 gigabytes with 3200 or 3600 megahertz is a good starting point. Keep that in mind, Richard. We're getting some good IT advice here. And then Amitesh says, my Windows 11 hangs even without any app running. I have Chrome, but use Firefox mainly. Do you use, you use Firefox? Well, I don't know. I'm not the IT guy here, so ask Upa. Anyway, so we have this block of text here. So would you split it up or would you write this yourself and then get it fixed after that?
Because like, normally, I would take the time to think about what I want to write and then write it out and then ask pieces like, hey, can I make this more concise, clear, to the point, whatever. Just for time's sake, I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to at least edit this. So for those seeking technical information or something, nope, I'm deleting that. To learn more about our stuff discussed, you can easily reach out to our team using the contact information. Maybe shorten this to like, you can reach out to our team using the reach out to us using the contact information, using our contact information on the website. That might not be grammatically correct, but the main purpose is to edit it first and then check the grammar later.
Okay, I believe you. Are you gonna add a space in the middle to like split it up a little bit since it's too many paragraphs?
Yeah. I think we could break it off here. Auto Liners specializes in professional real environment services designed to enhance their vehicles' performance, safety, and tire longevity. We offer convenient online booking for online appointments, promising smoother rides and improved fuel efficiency. Our website provides detail. I feel like this is too wordy, and I would break this down.
I agree. Gotta make it. I usually tell it like, please use simple language and make it very concise. But you have to keep. You have to make it simple. One of my requested features for pieces is to add like a special instructions thing, so I don't have to keep, saying like make it simple. But hopefully that will be added at some point. I think people want that too. So. Yeah, because it needs to be simple, and it doesn't matter if it's like docs or an article. I don't want super wordy language.
Yeah, so, no.
I don't want, and I want to like make a list of like, no, never use these words, like delve. What else?
For a convenient online
something. Explore.
Information on various car models. Like this is just mainly my process, just reading through it constantly over and over again. It's like thinking, what can I include and what can I not include? Or what can I combine? What you offer convenient online bookings and then offer detailed information on various car models and comprehensive financing options to support your options. Put that down. Whether you're looking to finance a new vehicle or loans will be offered flexible. I would say keep this. We offer flexible plans, guidance through the application process. Maybe remove this. That looks better. I'll align its
specialization. Looks good to me.
Enhances your vehicle's performance, safety, tire longevity. Honestly, like I could do better. I could keep iterating on this, but like I think this is good enough for like the first draft of it. And then what I would usually do is I would go to Grammarly and check grammar and spelling, or we could try doing it with pieces. Let's give it a shot. Is this grammatically correct?
Let's see.
Oh, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, Amitesh, if you didn't know, Upo says you should switch to Linux. So, Amitesh, if you're still here. And then Roxy said something about reading levels and age ranges. So, was that about like telling it when you're instructing it to, create some text? I guess I think that would probably be a good way to be like, oh, this should be at like an 8th grade reading level. Then it wouldn't use those overly unnecessary words that nobody needs to hear.
That could work, but then like what AI usually does is they use like they jam pack the prompts with like adverbs and adjectives, even if like, well, let's try this.
They do. They like to add a lot of adjectives in there.
Graph about cats in 8th grader reading level.
All right, let's see what happens. Amitesh is a Linux hater. Per.
Okay. All right, see, immediately I see fascinating. I see
these furry friends.
Independent. I don't know if that's okay. Playful. Okay. Sunny.
Those are okay. Reasonable words. Okay. Yeah. Rough makes sense.
Appreciate. I feel like that could be a better. I don't know. Soothing.
Actually, that's not that bad.
Product.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. I feel like
a little bit AI. Actually, it's not bad. Like I could see this being a little learn about cats book or something.
Large Maine Coons? From typing to large Maine Coons. Maybe remove this part.
Oh, by the way, Upa says boo when you said you installed Linux. Move back. Upa was very disappointed in you, Amitesh, just so you know. Also, Roxy said she likes the Hemingway app because it tells you what reading level your text is in. I'm going to go put my articles into that and see what reading level it is. I usually try to keep the articles like as simple as possible because I don't want to, confuse people for no reason.
Same.
I will try that. That's cool. Well, I like the cat text. That's my favorite part. Let's add it to the docs. Is like, want to learn about cats?
Certainly, let's do it. Why not?
All right. Okay. Well, I was joking, but we can keep it if you want.
Let's keep it. This is for funds, anyways.
Yeah.
How to apply for finance, and then I will probably keep doing the same process, like generate it and something like generate a paragraph. Well, I made this mistake before. Concise and short. Oh, actually, let's try the paragraph in 8th grader reading level for the website that I have up. Oh, oops, I forgot to tell it about the finance. All right, let's try that
okay.
again.
About financing or financing. Oh, I guess
Fine,
how to apply.
finance?
Maybe we should just
Oh,
say
about
how to apply for finance.
how to apply for financing.
Yeah, so it doesn't start like giving you advice like how should you save up money for a car or something like that.
Straightforward to get started. This is okay. That's not bad. I only wish. Can I copy this? I can. Yes. Okay. I would cut this down probably. Like I
Yeah, it's
would.
a little long.
Yeah, definitely. This part is not this. No, this is not necessary. It's so self-explanatory that the link literally says finance. I feel like yeah. Or you
Right.
can say car finance, something like that. Fill out the online application form with your person. I mean, again, that's so like that's pretty self-explanatory. You see the form, it says name, input. Feel like this day and age, most people would know like, oh, this is where I put my name, this is where I put my. As long as you have the input and the placeholder or the label. I'm sorry. You'll also need to provide information that you want to buy. Again, I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory once you submit the form of the team. Obviously, you're going to have to change this. So, like, our team will, once you submit the form, our team will submit your application quickly. We'll get back to you soon. But, I don't know why.
Reasonable.
That seems okay. If you have any questions during the process, you can always contact our friendly. I feel like you just.
Yeah, you should probably delete friendly considering like Upa is one of the customer support people. So yeah, and who knows who the other ones are.
Mm-hmm.
Upa's already he's gone. He's still here. That's good. He heard that. Yeah, we're gonna probably end the stream soon and look at it how it looks in the storybook thing. But thank you, Upa. Thanks for supporting. You did get the #1 troller award, so I will be making that official later. So keep your eyes open.
All right, so time for some quick formatting. So here you would probably use MDX. Normally, with documentation, the CSS is already implemented, so you don't have to worry about it. In this case, it's not. It's kind of implemented, but not really. Like obviously, you would change this according to how it would work for your application.
Right.
I'm just gonna keep it as is, and then I would say when it comes to headings, like when you like approach it like you're adding headings in the HTML, like H1 is the main heading, and then H2s are the subheadings, and then H3, and so on and so forth. And then,
very cool.
At the very end, I would probably have links to like the next.
To Upa's email, but he's gone, so we can't make fun of him anymore because he's gone. He's not going to rewatch this, so it's okay.
Probably.
But yeah, I kind of so you basically like normally you would write it yourself and then ask for a review from an AI tool, and you wouldn't like use the AI first, but just for the, making it easier, we just asked AI to write the like draft version first, and then we edited it. But that's really cool. So you're gonna add these docs to your actual website or no?
I might actually, because like I've always thought about writing documentation for that project, and honestly for like my biggest projects. And honestly, there's so much I need to add. Like I need to add testing. I need to add component libraries, and then I have so much to do.
Utba is mad because I don't pronounce his name right.
I
say like Utba. I think I'm stopping for the silent T, Utba, but he wants me to say like Utba.
Yeah.
Put the air out when I say the T. I'm trying. What did you say it, Richard?
Upta?
He's saying it worse. Utba. At least he's saying Upta. Did you hear that, Richard? Did you hear that, Upa? Utba. 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 It's UTBA. Utba. Anyway, we had a whole episode about this already. We already had a whole stream. Maybe we'll like do an official stream, like how to pronounce Utba's name, and we'll get like 10 people, and we'll see like who's the winner. Oh, and then the award for like the best Utba pronunciation can be on like the award page too. It's a good idea. Yeah. Good. Also, if you have any favorite quotes from the chat for this stream, let me know, because I think I'm going to add like I wrote down a couple funny quotes from the chat. I'm going to add it to like a post after this and be like, thank you, chat, for these amazing quotes. There's some of them are really weird.
Right.
So anyway, and out of context, it's just funny. So we'll see. But I really liked your demo and your screen sharing, Richard. It was great. I learned a lot. I'm going to check out Storybook and try it for my own doc needs. And we'll see how that goes. Do you have any final words, Richard? How did you feel doing this? Was it scary? Was it okay?
I mean, it was fun. I enjoyed talking to Ellie, and I enjoyed talking with the chat. I only wish I was able to show the full process, but like honestly, writing documentation, it's very slow. It's a lot of just thinking to myself and like thinking like, okay, what is good here? Does it word well? And it's like a lot of thinking, and then the writing process is very fast, and I'm like straight back into thinking.
Yeah, I think also like doing anything on stream, it's going to take way longer than if you were to just sit down and do it. So like I didn't really expect that we would finish but I think we got a little bit of progress, and at least pieces could see your stuff that you were working on before, and you didn't have to like tell it about your site over and over again. But yeah, Elder's still here. Yoshi is still here. Thank you so much for coming. Oh wait, is this person from the panel at that conference?
I think so. Yeah, I think this is Yoshi.
Oh, yeah, that's so cool. Like what is that? Like two galaxies colliding into one. We're now in the Pieces live stream.
Yeah.
At first, I didn't like make the connection. I'm like, wait. We both know this person. So that's really cool. I love that. Yeah, we were in Shashi's like panel discussion.
Yeah. I was sitting next to him. I'm like, oh, it's
Yoshi. I love that. That's so cool. And then Elder said we went really slow. That's okay.
I mean, that's generally how documentation works. It's slow. It's not a fast process at all.
Right. Even like technical writing, I read over it so many times, and then finally, like when it goes to review, they're like, oh, and you also have all these problems. And I'm like, I already read it 100 times. I thought there was no problems. They're like, typo.
Yep. You forget that one colon or that one semicolon. You're just like, oh.
Yes, it is what it is. It happens every time. And we have a new viewer here, but it's too late. Lazy Techno. Yeah, you're too late. We're about to end the stream, but I'm very happy you ended up coming. You can rewatch if you want to. Thanks, Mika, for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Richard, for being here.
Yeah,
we're gonna end the stream, and also, if you guys don't know Richard, definitely connect with him on LinkedIn. There's his LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn is Richard Choir.
Yeah, Richard Choi was already taken. I was like, what? There's another Richard Choi.
Wait, is that why you named yourself Choirs? Because Choi? I just like made that connection. That is like the same word. I thought you just like really liked choirs, you know?
So there's a funny story to that. So I had a substitute teacher who was like, oh yeah, Richard Choir. I'm like, oh, that's me. And then in college, I had the email where they would put the last name and the first initial. It was Choir. I'm like, oh, hey, what a coincidence. Choir.
Okay. Well, no, I mean, Amitesh, he is a musician, so that's why it confused me too. Anyway, now I understand. But here, I'm going to send Richard's Twitter here so you guys can follow him. And I think it's going to go everywhere to all the socials. Follow him, connect with him on LinkedIn. Here, I'll hide Amitesh's words here. The LinkedIn is over there. And I think also his LinkedIn is in his Twitter bio, so you can click on it through there. I know Richard does a lot of coffee chats, so if you want to do a coffee chat with him, I'm sure he'd be down to do a coffee chat. And talk to you about some technical writing docs things, anime, cats, all kinds of things, trying smoothies, milkshakes, all things like that. Water slides.
I actually have I have a coffee chat with Mika later today. So
oh, that's so fun. I'm so excited. Mika is
know,
so awesome. Shout out to Mika. Everybody go follow Mika too. I'm pretty sure her name is the same as this on Twitter. Mika's amazing. I'm excited to see your coffee chat picture on the socials later.
If I remember, I always forget. I'm like,
somebody will remember. Mika will remember, maybe.
I trust Mika.
Yeah, I trust Mika too. I think she'll remember. Anyway, thanks so much, Richard, for putting yourself out here and doing this stream and screen sharing. I know screen sharing is kind of scary, but you did great. And I think everyone learned a lot about technical documentation, and we're all going to try Storybook after this.
Woo!
Woo! All right, I'm going to end the stream. Thanks so much, chat, for coming, supporting us. Richard is happy that you came, and I am happy, and I will give out the awards later. So keep posted, follow me on Twitter, Ellie Zub, and you'll see if you got a award or not, a trophy. I'll make like AI generated trophies or something. We'll see. We'll see if that happens or not. Anyway, let's see. Where's the thing? There's a thing. It's like an outro page. So I'm going to start the outro page. Bye, everyone.
Bye.